Hey, hello. This is Andrei, and welcome to OneSixth. Today we'll speak about geography of Russia. Yeah? We'll speak it in connection with the rest of the world. Yeah? I'll show you some hints, bits and hints, some things which are not obvious, yeah? Even to many Russians. And I hope you'll find it enjoyable, yeah, and useful for yourself. So we will shift immediately to the view of Russia. Well, this is the border, yeah, as you see here. It goes all the way down from the northern seas, yeah, from Finland here, then Baltic states, Belarus, Ukraine, and then to Black Sea. So I'm talking to you from that point here. It is the southest point of Russia. Then it goes all the way here across Kazakhstan, and then this is Mongolia. This is Baikal Lake, and it stretches all the way here to Korea. Yeah, Russians don't have a border with Korea, but we have border with China. But it's just simply you can swim here, swim from Russia to Korea, to Northern Korea. Yeah, and Japan obviously. What is fun is that it takes more time to fly from Moscow here to New York than to fly from Moscow here to Vladivostok, which is here. Yeah, the most well, it's a large city. Yeah, comparable with the rest of Siberian and Far East locations. Not as large as Chinese cities here, but still for Russia, in Russian terms, it's very big. Okay, and if you fly to Kamchatka, which is here, peninsula, then it would take you another hour from Moscow. But Russians almost don't live here because it's probably too extreme. So what most of Russians don't realize, as I noted, because I discussed this thing a lot with many people, is that where Russia ends here in the south, and as I've shown to you, I am located here on the border with Abkhazia, which is here depicted as Georgia. It is where United States actually begins. Yeah, so this is more or less the parallel which connects Russia with northern United States. Okay, so United States is located, if we compare it to Europe, United States is located over here. Yeah, so it is the northern Africa. Yeah, not even Germany. Yeah, not even, and obviously not UK. UK is pretty much in the north. By the way, if you didn't notice, so the north of United Kingdom is almost where St. Petersburg is located, and St. Petersburg is considered really a northern city. Yeah? So back to Russia. There are, well, you see those major cities here, yeah, on the map, and the major are obviously Moscow and St. Petersburg. So those two names I think you've heard, particularly if you are interested in Russia. If you're listening to this, you're obviously interested. You may have never heard the name of other cities, yeah? Just because those two are. Moscow is a formal capital, but St. Petersburg was capital for quite a lot, for more than 200 years, which is a bit bizarre, yeah, considering the size of Russia. Yeah? That both of those capitals, they're located in the extreme western part of the country. So it would be much more logic to place capital in Novosibirsk, and some people say that in few decades it's going to happen like that, or Yekaterinburg, which is on the Ural Mountains. So anyway, the distance is here. Yeah? So just look and try to compare. Yeah. So this is Europe, and traveling from Prague to Warsaw here is, well, for people who live here, it's pretty significant. It's like traveling from Paris to London or from Paris to Berlin. Yeah. And in Russia, I'm traveling regularly from the place where I grew up in St. Petersburg. I'm traveling to Sochi, which is here. So note the size, yeah, or traveling from Moscow to Sochi, yeah, which is here. It's like actually crossing Europe, from the northern Europe, from Stockholm to Bulgaria or Serbia here. Yeah, so it's pretty far. So the flight here takes from St. Petersburg to Sochi, which is like for Russian, it's a regular thing. Yeah, it takes more than 4 hours. From Moscow, it takes 3 hours. From Siberia, it takes 4 or 5 hours here, and people fly like regularly from Moscow to Novosibirsk, from Moscow to Yekaterinburg. So Novosibirsk is considered to be the kind of a capital of Siberian region here, which begins from Omsk here and ends up here with Krasnoyarsk. And then the Yekaterinburg is considered to be the capital of what we call the Ural area here. People travel a lot. Yeah, so they fly more than 2 hours to Yekaterinburg. They fly like almost 4 hours to Novosibirsk, 5 hours to Krasnoyarsk, etc. If you ever want to travel to Baikal Lake, which I did many times, so overall I've spent here a couple of months of my life, yeah, including this beautiful island here. So if you want to travel here, it's going to take you many hours. Okay. And what is also worth noting is that if you look at where those cities are located, considering the size of a country, yeah, let me zoom out even more. Look that those cities, they're located in a southern part, just because it's almost impossible to live here. Russian government is obviously promoting people coming, is supporting people coming here, and this area, which we call the extreme north or Murmansk area, we have 1 million people living in this area. So, for you to compare, the whole population of that part of Northern Europe, of 3 countries, Norway, Sweden, and Finland, would make up to 200,000 at most. And in Russians, they live like 1 million people live here. Yeah, it's immense, in fact. Yeah, and if you compare, again, particularly if you're living in Central Asia or you are living in Latin America, yeah, note the Arctic Circle here. And have you ever noted where the Antarctic Circle is located? Yeah, for you to compare. So this is the Antarctic Circle. Yeah, Antarctic Circle actually is we can say the border of Antarctica. Okay, so Russians they live like imagine that 1 million people would live on that peninsula of Antarctica. So this is the reality, and the weather is very similar here in this area to what I just shown you in the far south of the planet. Okay, so there is 1 million people living here. There is more than 6 million people in St. Petersburg area, which is size of every country of either this one or this one or here. So it's a lot of people living here. Yeah. And the weather conditions, if you ever been, or you may originate from the Northern Europe, then you know that Oslo barely sees snow in winter, as does Stockholm. Yeah, the snow is very rare, just because the Gulf Stream, as well as in United Kingdom, you don't really have snow there. Why? Because the Gulf Stream, the warm current which goes all the way from here, from the Africa side of Africa, it actually brings the heat to the north of Europe, and the heat is blown to Norway and Sweden. It doesn't really touch Finland. So the Gulf of this Gulf, I always forget the name of this Gulf. It kind of blocks the warmth, and the warmth doesn't come here. The colder winds they blow here from the north. So Finland in that sense is very weather-wise is very close to what we have here in Karelia. We call this area Karelic region. So people have may have minus 25 here. At the same time, in Stockholm, it would be like 0, yeah, or plus 5. So this makes the immense difference weather-wise. Yeah. If we go further here into the eastern part of Russia, or central or eastern part of Russia, then these areas in winter, they have temperatures around 30, 40, 50 sometimes. So Yakutsk area, every winter they have minus 50 degrees in winter. This is when what's the word for this? When you do poo, and when this piece of water, when it flies out of your mouth, it freezes immediately. When it falls down, it's already a frozen piece of ice. Okay. Another thing to mention is the extreme difference between this area in Murmansk in the north, where a lot of people live, or St. Petersburg here, where 6 or 7 or even 8 people. If we take that area, we'll have like 8-9 million people. In Moscow area, it's almost 20 million people now. If we kind of pick up the larger part, and then we move all the way down to the southest point here. It's not geographically the southest, because the southest would be here. But in terms of the weather, those are the highest mountains in Europe. Yeah, so Elbrus peaks to 5.5 kilometers high, which is 1,000 almost 1,000 kilometers more than the Alps. Okay, so the Sochi area barely sees snow. The snow, you can see snow only in the mountainous area. It's exactly what I'm speaking from at the moment. So this area, which is elevated to 500 meters, it sees a lot of snow in winter. This Russia is in fact the only country to have such extreme weather differences. If you look at Canada, which is the second largest country in the world after Russia, then you will just know that 95% of all population of almost 40 million people, they live here. So they live in the area which in Russia would be that area, okay? We call it the south of Russia. Everything which goes from Volgograd, Rostov to Sochi is the south of Russia. So where Russians live, most of Russians live, which is like 90% of people live in that area from St. Petersburg, Moscow, and down here to the east. People just don't live in the world. Yeah. So the Canadian provinces, there are no people here. There are just a few hundred thousand people. Everyone is here in the south. And if we look at the South America, then Russia begins here in Antarctica and ends up over here, yeah, an extreme south of Argentina and Chile, where people also don't live. There are just few dozen thousand people that live in this extreme south, which is very cold. Yeah. Voila. Cape Town, we just don't compare, yeah, because it's very in the south. The same with Australia and a bit of New Zealand. So New Zealand is comparable, but it's so small that it's not worth really comparing. Yeah, one little thing I will add is the Four Seasons. I like this hotel chain because it really kind of tells the story about Russia in the sense that almost all Russia, except for this area where I'm located now, it knows four seasons, even the extreme north. So in Murmansk, the weather today would be 20 degrees Celsius, yeah, plus 20. So almost the same weather as here in the extreme south of Russia. Okay, and this is a peculiar part of Russia that we really see these four seasons. we really have the summer, which is very warm. In some areas of central Russia, it hits up to 40 degrees, yeah, right now. And then in winter, the same area may see minus 30 degrees Celsius, yeah, with a lot of snow. Okay, and then there is a very powerful spring where the snow melts, and then it all breaks into this beautiful greenish whatever, yeah. And then in autumn, in the fall, yeah, you have a fall in a sense that the leaves are really falling down, and the whole nature becomes like grayish, yeah, except for some trees which were with the needles, and then the winter where everything is just covered with the snow. So like the major part of the country is in January would be just covered with the snow. Okay, so this is very peculiar to Russia. This is very peculiar to Finland, and to some northern parts of Northern Europe, and to Canada. Okay, nothing else in the world. Yeah. Okay, we can say that the mountainous area in China, 2,000 meters, 3,000 meters, Tibet, they also have these tremendous differences, but it just looks so different just because it's mountainous. In this area, it's just flat and everything is covered, and it's just huge. Okay. Okay. I hope you enjoyed it. Any questions, any comments? Please feel free to type them down. And I'm not asking you to subscribe because I consider it as a kind of push marketing. But you know how to. If you like the idea, if you want more videos like that, just help me do it by subscribing and letting know that you are interested in that. Okay? See you next time.